What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning, of course, Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz, or Ruiz Joshua 2. The final press conference was today, and let me tell you something, guys. That face-off was very, very serious. It was real. It was very authentic. I seen Joshua looking down at Andy, Andy looking up at Joshua. And these guys, they had like Joshua was kind of looking down at him like, motherfucker, I'm going to get you. Ruiz kind of had this smirk, that baby-faced look he has. Then the chants started. The entourage just started. You start hearing things 2 times, right? Then from Ruiz's camp, his side, and still, And when they broke focus from looking at each other, it's almost like I damn near seen an eye roll of Joshua. Damn near. You could tell he was like, he's focused. He's looking like Klitschko was in the second Fury fight. I know that fight didn't happen, but they did have a gloves are off. They were promoting that fight before Fury failed that fight. He did, before that fight fell through. Klitschko had this laser-like focus. I see the same look, the same laser-like focus in Anthony Joshua. They interviewed, of course, the person that got him there, the Saudi Arabians having all that money. The trainers, first McCracken, he was saying that you're going to see the real Anthony Joshua. And I was like, oh, you're going to get the real one. Joshua wasn't at himself that night. For whatever reason. You always got to throw that in there. But Saturday, you're going to see the real Anthony Joshua. We've trained. Ruiz was a replacement. And Ruiz is hard to train for anyway, on top of being a replacement. We know what type of fighter he is. We won't underestimate him. We know we've been in there before with him. We know what to expect, and we're ready. Those were the words of Rob McCracken. Now, Manny Robles, he put his 2 cents in, and he said something very important also, that they're not coming in overconfident. They're not coming to the point where they're celebrating or they're thinking that this guy is going to be easier this fight. They know it's a different type of fight. They're preparing for a different type of fight. They're preparing for everything that comes. He says you can ask Andy. And Andy knows what he has done. He said they didn't have time to prepare for that fight. Now they had the proper time to prepare. Okay. And they will be ready. He said Joshua's a great fighter. So we have to be ready for this fight. Those were the words of Manny Robles. Boom. Goes to Joshua. Joshua had this to say. He's focused. He's ready. And he's really not going to celebrate. And it wouldn't be just one of the best times or the best wins. Because he says he's not going to celebrate because he has other things to do. He came to take over the division. So it's going to be business as usual when it comes to him beating Ruiz. Ruiz is another task, and he's looking forward to that task. And he's ready. He's confident. So, Joshua, whatever that meant, hey, he's ready for the next test. So that tells me that I think after this fight, he said he's going to calm down. This is what he said. And I'll give you my counterpunch. Said he's going to calm down and look for the next best task. He wants to fight the best. Okay. So I think from hearing him say that, I think he's going to attempt to try to fight other guys and other fighters, which is good. We don't want to see another redo. This redo was inevitable. So, Anthony Joshua said he's ready, and stay tuned, for a fantastic night of boxing. Champion, Andy the Destroyer, the Giant Slayer, Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, he pretty much said, hey, there's no way I'm taking these belts back. He's not getting these belts. I trained my ass off for this fight. And I'm ready and I know what I have to do. And Ruiz really didn't say much. Me counterpunching his trainer, because his trainer said more than he did. He said they didn't have time to prepare. I would disagree. That's where I got a counterpunch. They had a lot of time to prepare. If they weren't prepared, they wouldn't have asked for the fight. They wouldn't have begged and stalked and harassed Eddie Hearn for the fight if they weren't ready. They were ready. They went from one training camp, fought a guy, took a week off, went into another training camp. No, this isn't a Dillian White situation where Dillian White was going to fight Anthony Joshua, where he's all bloated, fat, and out of shape. And I question that. But anyway, that's him. This wasn't the case with Andy Ruiz. The Destroyer was ready. He was ready to do exactly what his nickname is. He was ready to destroy. And that's what he did, right? So that's why I counterpunch. Versus Joshua, they didn't know what the hell was doing. They weren't prepared. So basically, I'm ready for someone. Like, McCracken did say, we weren't ready. We were focused. We were training for another fighter. That's what they were doing. That's what makes this fight so intriguing. Because we want to see what Anthony Joshua can do while focused on the guy that's in front of him versus another guy on top of another guy on top of another guy on top of another guy that was supposed to replace or end up fighting. Because Andy Ruiz was the replacement. And boy, was he a difficult replacement. He was the perfect replacement. We'll see if everything was to his favor. We'll see if everything fell into line for his favor. Those things can happen. Bad night on top of an injured fighter, on top of a fighter that you didn't really anticipate. But any of those, if any of those are true that I just said, they could by themselves cause an upset. But again, it was intense. The face-off was intense. This was different, a lot different than before. And it's going down, people. I see a spontaneous, unpredictable fight ahead of us. But anyway, I'll leave the link below. Let you guys check out the final press conference. Tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.